Good morning, Short and Ice. How are we doing today? I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Victoria, good morning. Kelly, Antimore Lane, good morning. Welcome to the stream. What's up, Will? Not much. Not much at all. It's been pretty much a relaxing couple of days. My wife and son were out of town. They just got back today. Good morning, Okie dokie. How's your husband, Okie dokie? I hope he's doing well. But they got back into town last night at about 10:30, somewhere in there. Good morning, love. Good morning, Will. Let's talk about Mila Millette. It's not far from where I live, like 10 miles. Ooh, is it? That close, huh? I think her husband did it. I think he killed her, especially with that audio recording. That what sounds like gunshots to me. Well, that's good. I'm really happy to hear that, okie dokie. How long did you have the house to yourself? Well, my daughter was here off and on, but just a couple of days. But last night they were supposed to be home yesterday at 6, but they didn't get home until I think it was about 9:30, somewhere in there. But I ended up barbecuing all by myself with nobody here. I made chicken and sausages and pork loin, asparagus, mashed, not mashed potatoes, potatoes. I made homemade potato salad, homemade macaroni salad. I made all this thing, for my food, all food, because it was supposed to be my wife, my son, my daughter, my mother-in-law, and myself. There was supposed to be 5 of us, but it turned out it was just me and my dog. He works where you work? Wow. Yeah, I think that he actually is the one that did it. What did he do with her? I don't know. I posted the missing poster of her on the FALAM, the Filipino American Society, which has a really big presence in that area. They sent it out to other members who are member of their organization group. They also helped pass out some flyers, missing flyers for her. And the more you love barbecue, yeah, I got a whole bunch of barbecue now left over in the refrigerator. But they'll eat it eventually. Good morning, MT. You got your coffee? Good. Good morning, easily distracted. Welcome to the stream. I hope you both had a wonderful week and have a great weekend. I'm glad you could join us today. Kayla, good morning. Sending sunshine from Sacramento. Yeah, I ain't gonna need it up here, Gayla. You might want to send it back east someplace. Today, temps are supposed to be 95 today, so no wind. Gonna be a hot one. Today, tomorrow, and Monday. So the next 3 days it's supposed to be a scorching over here where I am. But thank you anyways. I appreciate the sunshine anyways in Sacramento. Shortcake thinks that Larry did it, huh? Where am I? Brittany, I'm in Washington State. That's hot. Good morning, faithful one. And Brittany, my name is Will, by the way. It's nice to meet you, and welcome to the stream. Anything, nothing, Auntie Moore. Come June and July, the average temperature here usually is right around 107, 106, right in there. The end of July, it gets really hot here. It's not uncommon for the daily temperatures to be in the triple digits. July, usually we'll hit temperatures 110, 115, right in there. There's no reason to apologize for that, Brittany, at all. Oh, LOL, I've been here, but it's been a minute since we've been on live with you guys. Well, thank you, Brittany. Oh my God, Washington State, what part? MT? Eastern Washington? So, in case you live in the United States or anywhere in the world, you might find this of interest. Washington State is the only state in the United States, all right, location-wise, that has all of the the temperate zones. We have deciduous forest, we have rainforest, we have desert, we have high desert plateau, and we have mountains. We have all five right here in this one state. Definitely is Eastern Washington. Yep. Most certainly is. You lived in Washington State for 15 years? Was it west side of the state? Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, over that way? I've lived all over this state. When I was in the service, after I finished my time in the service, I lived in Linwood, and then I moved to Mukilteo. Then I moved to Edmonton, and then I moved back over here to the east side. So I've lived there. I've lived in Spokane. I have property just across the state line in Rathdrum, Idaho, from Spokane. We have the total acreage. We have 2 parcels there. Well, we inherited it all. I haven't been there. My wife was just there. The 2 days that almost 3 days that they were gone. But we have downtown. We have 3 homes, and then we have outside on the road going to Silverwood theme park. We have, I think it's 60 acres, and it's got like 2 homesteads on it. Good morning, Gabby girl. Welcome to the stream. Yes, western near Bremerton, Port Orchard, Silverdale area. I like Bremerton. I go to that area. I'll be over there again in August. I play in a golf tournament that's near there. Well, I'll be in Bremerton to meet my friends, and then we go from Bremerton to Chehalis. Gabby girl, we just did a job that we had to drive 5,000 miles round trip through Arizona, California. Interesting. I've been there before. Gabby girl, 5,000 miles. Ow, that's a lot of road miles. Butters, you're in Bremerton. Why did I think you were in Wisconsin? Auntie Moore, that's where I'm from. I was born and raised in Wisconsin, Prescott, Wisconsin, and I lived in Prescott about a little more than half my life, and then I lived in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, And then I moved out west. Ever been out of the U.S.? Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I've been outside the U.S. On my own choosing, and the United States Marine Corps pretty much sent me wherever the hell they wanted. Victoria, what's going on with the Watts case? A lot of lies, a lot of speculation, a lot of bullshit. Excuse my language. Nothing. He's going to rot in prison the rest of his life. Hello from Delaware, Deneen. Good morning. Well, yeah, it's still morning there. Gotta think there for a second. But to answer back to the question, have I ever been outside the United States? Yes. I've been to the UK. I've been to France. I've been to Germany. I've been to Ireland, Scotland, Afghanistan, yay, Iraq, yay, Kuwait, yay. I've been to the, then coming back around down, I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Guatemala. What the fuck did we? Oops, sorry, my language. Excuse me. I'm mentally trying to picture all the damn places that I've been. Mexico, Philippines, but some of those were not, by my choice, But what'd you think about the boat case? I'm not 100% sure what you mean about the Victoria, about the boat case. Nothing is going on with the real case. The case that everyone's created in their own minds, that's what's going on. The case is over with, and it just keeps on rehashing in something false. Yeah, I mean, there are people out there on YouTube, in the YouTube landscape, that have made their entire careers, if you could call it that, out of just rehashing the same thing over and over and over and over again, drumming up more and more speculation about it. But I'm speaking about the Christopher Watts case and what happened there. But to each their own. I don't follow it. And there's nothing newsworthy about Christopher Watts that has come across the news desk for me. And I'm pretty, connected to the, news outlets when it comes to what's going on in cases. So nothing there. Good morning, Toxic Orchid. Good morning, Anna. Good morning from Finland. I think we have 2 people in Finland this morning. Boyfriend beat him to death for soiling his pants. People think the mom knows more than she's saying. I don't know if Christopher Watts is where he belongs. Toxic Orchid. I think he belongs 6 feet underground. This is my opinion, though. But if we have to take what we can get, I guess being in prison for the rest of his life is the next option, isn't it? I think you did an awesome coverage on the Watts case. Well, thank you very much, Victoria. I appreciate that. MT, are you talking about the is that the boat case? Because just going through my mind, going through the mental Rolodex here, I was thinking about, there was another case about somebody who disappeared off of a yacht, but he belongs in that oil tank. Would that be nice? I say we shove him through the same fucking hole. Sorry for my language. But we shove him through the same hole that he put Bella and Celeste through. We cram his butt through there and into the oil. That'd be a fitting, justice, wouldn't it? Or we bury him alive like he did, we bury him alive, but in the same manner that he buried Shanann. Did I understand the boyfriend videos, the beating? I'm not sure about what that's in reference to. Good morning. Trying to keep up here, put him in alive. Good morning, Connie Kelly. I was starting to say good morning, but I was like, then the next comment right after yours caught my eye. Hope if I open the top of it. Oh yeah, you know who I'm talking about, Kathy. And good morning. Welcome to the stream. I think he should have made him get the girls out of the tank. Amari Case. South Sweden. I should bring back the map. I have a world map that I used to put pins in for the different locations of where people were actually joining my streams from. I should bring that back in some fashion. I don't know where I put it in here though. I mean, I'm sure I could find a wall space like maybe back over here or something to put it up on. 2 babies killed recently. What's wrong with these moms leaving their children alone with abusive men? I don't understand it. Short and nice, and I'm not sure if I said good morning or not, but short and nice. It happens. It happens a lot. A lot. Unfortunately, it does. And that's something that that women, in particular, single mothers, need to really pay attention to is who they they get into relationships with. Because the statistics show that when a single mother gets in a relationship with someone who the chances for abuse go up quite a bit. Now, I'm not saying that hey ladies, you have to stay single the rest of your life. You just have to really know the individual that you're leaving your children with. You're still on the O.J. Simpson case, Patricia? I could ruin it for you. I can tell you who did it. O.J. Simpson killed his ex-wife and Ron Goldman. He spent enough money to confuse the political and the justice system to be acquitted of murder. And then he was arrested and convicted for stealing his own stuff back. Good morning, Mike. Allah is king. Allah Akbar. Middle of Finland, and we have middle of Finland and south in Sweden, Finland. Martin Nicholson in Las Vegas just happened in Las Vegas. The heartbreaking. Look it up when you can. Grab my pen here. Mari King. Yes. I will. Thank you for the suggestion. Be aware of the red flags. Yes, definitely, Anna. Kathy, I made a pact with myself and never to say the last name ever again, so I'm sick of it. They just need to let those sweet people rest in peace. It's a good idea, Gabby. Unfortunately, we can't get people to do that. OJ is innocent. The glove was too small, um, and a drug dealer did it. You think so, Mike? Okay. Hello from Europe. Kobita. I used to work with abusive children. It is sickening. You guys have no idea what really goes on because it's a lot worse than what is ever reported. Yeah. Well, as part of my wife's um, well, she's working on her doctorate in psychology right now. Uh, she had to do an internship with a crisis response center, and it's sick. The things that you find out that people will do to each other and what they'll do to children. It's sickening. Well, thank you for the super chat, Okie dokie. Before I get too busy with these 8 kids, here's your fundraiser with love. Well, thank you very much. We're now, Okie dokie, we are now over $600 that we've raised for Next for Autism. And that was one of the reasons, other reasons why my wife was out of town this past weekend was she had to go to Spokane, Washington with my son because every right now they're trying to fit an individual progress report for him for school for his autism, and they're trying to mold it in such a way where he's going to get the most benefit. And we've signed up with a couple of other programs, but I will definitely make the donation to Color the Spectrum right after this stream. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Sweden Prime Minister Olaf Palme murder in the 1980s is still unsolved. Wow. I never let my kids with my boyfriend, not even when they were teenagers. They were allowed to be alone with my husband, now even until they were 18. No way. You have to do what you feel is best. Do you pronounce it Dawnella? Dawnella Freeman? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but to me it looks like it would be pronounced Dawnella. Dawnella. Good morning and welcome to the stream. Debbie Mayhew, good morning. Good morning, Will. One of the reasons I love your channel is you don't talk about Chris every day, just getting views. I have much respect for you because of that. You actually stand for something. Thank you, Debbie. I actually I appreciate that immensely. It was a case that came across. I reported on it, and once it was finished, I'm done. I've done a couple of updates here and there, but I don't want to talk about him, and I don't want to mention his name, and I don't want to hear his name. Just like Gabby. Or I think it was Gabby that said that she doesn't want to mention his name or hear it. Evening from Australia. A really funny YouTuber in land down under in Australia is if you want to check out a channel, check out Mel MEL space MEL Mel. She's funny. She does some really funny skits and stuff like that, but she's down in Australia. Real Duct Tape Bandit, good morning. I knew a girl named Dawnella. We called her Wee Wee. She died of an overdose, and the man that found her buried her in the woods. I'm sorry about that, Duct Tape Bandit. Well, thank you, MT. I appreciate that. Kids are too vulnerable. It's why I have 8 grandchildren here. Crazy people exist, and predators. Yeah, a gentleman who used to he was in charge of he owned a company that we used to do business with professionally. We did business with him professionally. I didn't know the man all that well. I've probably met him 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, and all the years that we've done business with him. But just this past week, he was finally incarcerated for his crimes. Apparently, his big kick was he loved to expose himself to women and children, but he also has a predatory nature to his crimes, and especially with younger children. But we finally, were able to get him locked up and put away. Unfortunately, he's not going to do that much time because the offense that he was convicted of this time, but he now has to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. So we'll at least be able to put him at a distance away from other family organizations and groups. Good morning, Reichart. How are you doing this morning? I hope you are doing well and had a great week. Tell your wife, I'll pray for her. It's hard field. Takes a special person that can do her line of work. Well, Gabby, my wife works in a pathology laboratory right now. And she's working on her master's in psychology, or doctorate eventually. But she wants to go into, and I'm probably I know I'm gonna get this wrong. Her textbook is sitting right underneath the camera right now because I have the camera up on a tripod on top of her textbooks on my table. But it's abnormal sexuality, I think it is, with something, and then there's like another minor in something else. But she wanted to go into the pharmaceutical line because her experience and her and working in research in the past. But at this point, everything's kind of like up in the air. She's not really sure what she's going to do. Todd Merritt, good morning. Hey, bud, just found your chat. Good morning, Todd. Welcome to the stream. Starfire, good morning. I hope you both had a wonderful week and are going to have a wonderful, relaxing weekend ahead. Guess Will respect you more than any other creator. Well, thank you, Gabby. A lot of people don't get me because this is me. And I don't have time to be something else, or maybe, my video quality and my audio quality is not like a rock star, level. But this is just who I am. I do me. And I take I read the news and I research it, and then I try to keep myself out of it as much as possible, but it does creep through, my view on different cases. MT, I never left my kids with strangers, especially with my son who has autism. Prison isn't appealing to me, so only close family, friends watch my kids. LOL. MT, I 100% agree with you there. Now, I don't know about your son with autism, but mine has very limited skills and ability to communicate. He does speak, he does talk, he doesn't form complete sentences verbally. He'll say 2 words, maybe 3 words in one, and then a break, and then 2 or 3 words, and then maybe another 2 words. So you have to kind of like put it all together. And that's one of the things that's always worried me and my wife about where he's at on the spectrum, and his ability is he can't communicate when somebody does something or would do something to him. He can't communicate to us. in a fashion where we'd be able to understand what was going on. And unfortunately, there are a lot of predators out there who will look for a child just like that, who can't verbally communicate what's going on in their lives or what somebody else may have done to them. It's sad. It's probably because you're not pretty, Will. It might be it, Reichart. Thanks, Will. Also, having a nice weekend. Our weather in Michigan has been awesome, by the way. Well, good. Good. I'm glad that you guys are getting good weather there. I've been to every state, every single part of the United States over the years. There isn't any place I haven't been. Will, your kids are very blessed to have you and Crystal. Both of you are intelligent and reasonable parents. Well, Gayla, we do our best. I will admit, right up front, I'm going to make mistakes, and I've made mistakes in the past. I probably will in the future. That's the best we can do is we put our faith, in a higher power. Let's just say for my wife's sake, but you put your faith in that, and you trust that you're going to do and you try to do the best, and that's all you can ask. Children don't come with a manual, and if they do, I can't return mine. So I got to do the best I can. Anna thinks I'm pretty. He was joking. I got the joke. It was good though. That makes me sick, Will. I did not know why anyone would want to hurt a child. Cannot wrap my mind around that. Or mean to animals or old people. Yeah, duct tape Bennett. It happens. And it happens a lot. They look for the vulnerable. Animals, they don't necessarily, they're not going out and beating on wolves or bears, because they can fight back and they can defend themselves. Where children and older citizens, they can't defend themselves, so they're easy targets. And if you can find one that doesn't have the communication skills or the ability to fight back or seek help for what's going on with them, those predators, they just zero in on them. Monastery going to be a child psychologist with a master's in behavioral science. Well, that's cool. What's your opinion on Idaho? Thinking about moving there, much cheaper than here. Looking for some land. Well, MT, I have property in Idaho. It's just over the state line border between Washington and Idaho. I have property in Rathdrum, Idaho. That's up in the Panhandle region of the state of Idaho. The farther up north you get into Idaho, in the Panhandle of Idaho, the property values are pretty damn expensive. You get anywhere near like Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, going up this way, forget it. The property values are just ridiculous, and it's appalling just how much, because there have been a lot of people who've transplanted from California up there, and they've bought up swaths of land. If you go down towards Boise, Idaho, beautiful country, especially if you get outside of Boise. It's close enough still to Boise itself. And that area, you have all the outdoor recreation you would ever want: hunting, fishing, hiking, ATVs, whatever you might be into, skiing, snowboarding, whatever. You have the mountains there. You have everything in and around like the Boise, Idaho, that area there. Very beautiful. Cost wise, fairly reasonable for home prices. Crime statistics for most of the state of Idaho, it's a lot lower than other areas and other states. If I was going to buy land someplace, though, and if I was going to relocate, to someplace where I haven't lived before, I would look at Montana. Even though Montana had a huge issue with methamphetamines, I would look at either Wyoming or Montana. Near the Idaho border in the Yellowstone National Park area. So you have the state of Idaho like this. Yellowstone actually comes into Idaho, and it drops down to Wyoming and in Montana. But if you can find property in that corner, I mean, you probably need someplace to work too. My neighbors in California just moved to Garden Valley, Idaho. They really love it. It's beautiful there. I've been to quite a few of the places in and around Garden Valley, Idaho. Verbal abuse is just as bad as physical. I grew up with that. Now at 40, I have PTSD and I can't even work. I'm sorry about that, Todd. Witnessing my dad's suicide to the head. I'm sorry about that. PTSD is something that is, affects a lot of people. I'm not going to say that I understand exactly what you're going through, and I don't think anybody ever really will 100%. You might find therapists out there who can help you work through your PTSD. Maybe, I mean, there are some people where that just can't. And unfortunately, I can't say for you, that you're one of them, but I hope that you can work through it and find a way to have some kind of quality of life besides that. But, do the best you can, Todd. Do the best you can. And if you have to, just take it one day at a time. My son has his heart set on Montana. LOL, we're seriously thinking about Wyoming and Montana too. Got to get there before California takes it all. They ain't taking it all. They're right now where I live. This is absolute madness. I'll explain it to you a little bit. I live in what a government town. This place would not exist if it wasn't for the federal government. Okay, 90% of the homes that were built here were built in 1942 to 1944, and most of the houses that are at that age have doubled, if not tripled, in price in the last 10 years. And they know that there is 100 to 125,000 people right in that ballpark who are going to be moving here to where, not right here, like, in my studio, but here in this area within the next 5 years. 125,000 people. And each and every city is just scrambling, trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do. Because that's basically tripling the population of where I live in the next 5 years. But this happens a lot here. It comes in waves. People move in massive droves. The federal contracts that get over with, people pick up and they move out. And then we have all these empty homes and everything else. And then their property value. But it happens. But a lot of them are coming from California, Texas, and Georgia. I'd love to move to Canada, but if it did cost me everything, I'd earn just to exist here and have moved a long time ago. Yeah. I'm sorry, Anthony Moore. You got in Anna, Sweden. Yeah, you got diagnosed with PTSD after a situation with an ex. I'm sorry. Much better from the passing though. One day at a time. If you have to, take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Puget Sound Naval Shipyard on western side. All the naval families got their first dibs. Did the Nimitz leave yet? Empty. When I lived there, I actually used to go to the Puget Sound Naval Yard every day. They have a gym there, and because I'd go there and I'd work out with the naval cadets. I think they're like people who were getting ready to get shipped off to like boot camp and stuff. But I'd go there and I'd work out with them, play basketball, hang out. Gave me a nice little transition time frame between after getting out of the service and actually having to transition back into normal life, I guess you could call it. Why are they moving? Jobs, Antimore? Yes. It's the federal government. Where I live, none of this would exist if it. Well, let's put it this way: before the 1940s, here where I live was all just farming. That's all it was here, was just farms. And there was a couple little small towns, small, tiny populations, but nothing. And then in the 1940s, it just boomed like crazy because the federal government moved in, bought up all the farmland, and most of you can't go anywhere really around here and do any outdoor recreation unless you do it in like a city park or something like that, because you go outside of town anywhere, everywhere around you is barbed wired off because it belongs to the federal government. You can't go on it. Can't trespass on it anywhere. But as the contracts come in, they've switched, job bases a little, tried to diversify, I guess they called it, the type of income, and here, but there's very little manufacturing. People either work in building homes or they work for the government, and that's what I did for a long time before I quit my job. Well, I didn't quit my job. The company I worked for decided that they were going to stop all U.S. Contracts, and they sold their contract out to another company, and that company was going to, then take us all on. We had to reapply for our jobs and everything else, and I was like, screw it. So I quit to do this full time. I'm still here. I have not gone anywhere. I hate the cold. Don't mind the snow, but cold, freezing temperatures suck. Right, Cart? I love the cold. Because my hyperthalamic is this little tiny gland in your brain. My hyperthalamic is damaged, and so when it's hot, I'm extremely hot. When it's cold, I'm hot, which is not a good thing if you're trying to survive in the wilderness in the wintertime. But because you constantly feel like hey, you know what? This is like t-shirt and shorts weather. So I'll never go to Alaska and work on the pipeline or become a fisherman for king salmon or anything. But I can't the hyperthalamic helps control your and regulate your body temperature. California literally rips you off. Everything is taxed so much. I used to love it here. Don't go to Washington State. That's why I didn't suggest Washington State, is because the taxes here are they're killing us. You pay 11.25% tax on, that is what's called the sin tax. So anytime you buy alcohol, tobacco, You pay 11.25% on top of the state sales tax. So you're paying almost 20% tax on alcohol and tobacco. The sin tax was only originally supposed to run for 15 years to help pay into a trust to deal with the side effects of people who smoked, to help offset the medical costs. And then they decided that they were going to extend it indefinitely without even really asking the general public. Gotta love politicians. How much is a pack of smokes where I am? For a pack of Marlboros, you pay about, before tax, about $6.70 before tax. So add almost 20% to that for in tax, unless you go to a Native American reservation, which a lot of people do. They go to a reservation where you don't have to pay the tax on it, and they buy them there. Oh, I understand that, MT. The older you get, the more annoyed you get. New York State smokes are around $15 a pack. Wow. Do they have sanctuary cities in Washington State? Gala, the entire state is. We are a sanctuary state, is what I guess they call it. In Washington State, you do not have to show any proof of who you are in order to get a state ID card. And then from a state ID card, you still don't have to prove who you are to get a driver's license. In Washington State, we're one of only, I think we are the last state that is considered, our driver's licenses are not considered official documentation to even get on an airplane. If I want to get on an airplane and fly to Arizona, I have to bring my passport with me and my driver's license, because our driver's license in this state are not considered real driver's licenses, unless you pay the $250 and you get what's called an enhanced driver's license. But the entire state is a sanctuary city state. Yeah, it sucks. Not where I live, but I'd say about 60 miles from here. About 60 miles from where I live, we have a huge, and when I'm talking, I wouldn't even know where to start with a number on it, but we have a huge population of migrant farmers who come into the state every year to harvest the crops, and then they're gone, and then they go back to California, Arizona, Mexico, or wherever they go after they're done here. And there's been so much money has been put into on that one side to make sure that we are a sanctuary, state, and that we don't ask for documentation. If an officer pulls you over in a car, he can't ask for your green card. He can't ask for any kind of citizens information. They can't ask for anything other than, do you have a driver's license? You have proof of insurance and registration. That's all they can ask. And from the moment that they write the ticket, the moment they write it and they print that ticket out in their thing, they have to give it to you, and you have to be able to leave. If they pause and they keep you for even 90 seconds after they hand you that ticket, you can fight the whole thing in court and have it all dismissed. There's some strange, stupid laws out there. Taxes suck, but I guess they help some way. They do. I mean, social services are not free. Medicare, not Medicare, Medicaid is not free. And I like to say that we put in my local area. I like to say that my tax money goes to something good, but there's a lot of corruption when it comes to local politics here. Me and my wife have rambled on about it in a couple of our podcast episodes. It's shocking. Minimum wage here in Ontario, Canada, is about $14.50. It's $15 an hour here in Washington State. Cheap. I get off brands for $4.69 included. Okie dokie. When I was down in, I think it was in North Carolina, and it's been several years, but I went to the Philip Morrison. I don't know if they still have it, but they used to have what they called a Blem and second store. You could buy basically like, oh, look, the printing got messed up on these packs of cigarettes. You could go in and buy packs of cigarettes for $1.15 a pack. I'd go in there, and you're only allowed, I think, 10 per visit. So we'd buy 10, put them in our car, go back in, buy 10. And people, you'd watch people all day long just doing this, just going in and out of the store until they ran out of money. But they would buy packs. You buy for $1.15, and that was with tax and everything. I don't even know if they had tax or not, but I know it was like $1.15 or something like that total for a pack of cigarettes at the Philip Morrison Blem store. I don't know if they have that still anymore. Minimum wage hasn't budged in the U.S. since George Washington was president. I've got some interesting statistics on that, on federal minimum wage in the United States. I was researching this for an actual case. I wonder if I have the notes in here or not. It might be in the house. My other notebook. Yeah, I'm so old school. I write everything down. Everything. But I mean everything. I take notes on something comes across my and I'm like, oh, well, look, I write the name down, like this person. I started researching his case, and I got 5 things on it. I gave up on it because I couldn't find anything else additional. I don't think, there you are, Glowworm. Good morning, Glowworm. Sorry I missed you. I was just wondering if you were here. I just ran across a note. Glowworm wants me to get bongo drums. Oh. More cowbells. And that's because I saw Glowworm there, and the note before that was cowbells. That's not in his notebook. Hey, Will, you should have joined a panel on live stream once in a while. That would be fun. Join a panel? Oh, like bring people on so they could be on the screen? I've done that before. I used to do a nighttime live stream where I used to have anybody that wanted to join could I used to put the link on here so anybody could join. it got a little disturbing there for a while because we had somebody who kept on changing their screen name to other people's names. So they would change their name to, I'm just giving this as an example. This wasn't the real person, okay? But they would change their name to like Rykart. Instead of Rykart 0713, they'd be Rykart, 07. So unless you really looked at it and knew the entire screen name, they'd change it to something like that. Then you'd see a little tiny window pop up that says that, Rykart wants to join. So then you click on it, and allow them to join. And whoever this person was, they're probably still out there somewhere. But this person would join, and the first thing you would see is either they were dancing around in women's lingerie, or they would show their ass to the camera every single time. And again, it wasn't Rykart. Good morning, Smith Shoes. I hope you had a wonderful week. And welcome to the stream. Kinda Kelly, good morning. I'm missing out on so much of this chat this morning. It's crazy here. But so I used to do it though. To answer your question, I've thought about doing it, some more on the true crime trivia night that I do on Sundays. Thought about adding it then. You can block them on StreamYard, can't you? No, on StreamYard you can't block them. On YouTube you can block them, but then on YouTube you can't bring people on as a guest. At least I don't think you can yet. But I would still have you would see the little grayed out picture, so it looked like a normal person or a picture there at first. And then as soon as you clicked on and you brought them up on the screen where everybody could see it, they would expose themselves, or they would start dancing around in women's lingerie. So then you click on the X, close them out, of the screen, but they always whoever this was, it's guy that was doing this, and hairy son of a bitch he was. But they would wait until they could see themselves on their end on camera, and then once they saw themselves, then they would do it. Lisa, good morning. Hey, I'm late, but I've been listening for a minute. Well, good morning, Mandy Hall. Good morning. I hope you both had a wonderful week. Oh my God, what I walked into? Men wearing women's lingerie. Yeah, I used to have someone who used to do that to me on live streams. Critical K boots them immediately when they act stupid. I can understand that. I mean, there's no reason to do that. Then again, at the same time though, I mean, I've had some people on, and he's still around. He still pops in every once in a while in streams. He's out there on different aspects of different cases. I'm trying to think of the nicest way to put it. I think that'd be, just say he's a different individual, but he pops into the stream every while. In the comment section, he's polite, he's courteous, but every time I used to bring him up on a live stream, I never knew what he was going to say or do. It was like I roll the dice. Either I'm going to get a normal person tonight on the live stream, or when I had him on, or he was going to say something just completely off the wall. But the weirdos do glowworm weirdos do come out of the woodwork. I would love to have witnessed that. Will the women's lingerie part would have made me laugh. Now the showing of the pecker would have made me want to vomit. Yeah. Well, the same person did it to other creators, other channels as well. So it wasn't just me. And I think that they're still out there. HBB even showed up on Mel Mel's channel. Really? I did not know that. Huh. He's polite. He's curious. He needs a bikini wax. The live stream Starfire? I don't know. I mean, it's been a while. I think it's still on my channel. I'm not sure. It would have been a live stream from probably about a year ago, if that. Might have been 9 months ago, months back or something like that. I was unfortunately watching when he did his full frontal, and I almost threw up in my mouth. Yeah. Well, I know the same individual came up on Cece's, um, came up on my friend Carolyn, came up on her live stream, came up on Janet's makeup cosmetic tutorial. I mean, these people to come out of the woodwork, but the same individual came up on multiple different channels to do the same thing. Because exposing themselves could get the creator flag. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, anti-more. I mean, I can't show the content. Even if I have the video still up, it's probably on my channel. It's probably unlisted. I have, off the top of my head, probably 30 different live streams that are unlisted. I mean, for different reasons. Either somebody said something in the comment section that was racist or homophobic, or they said something that was demeaning towards somebody else in the comment section. And I didn't catch it right away, but I was notified later on that it was. There's no way to actually edit this out on Rewind. On Rewind, that's still there. You can't go back in and hit the 3 dots and remove the comment. At least not from on YouTube. I don't know if there's a way to do it on StreamYard because I haven't really dug into it. It took me forever just to figure out how to do this scroll thing. I just don't have the time to add something where I'm going to make a deep dive into it and figure it all out. I bet he gets a fat nut check. I would like a nut check. It ruins the whole stream. Yeah, that's what they want. Dig into StreamYard. Well, I'll tell you this much. I would much rather you be using StreamYard than Streamlab. Streamlab is nuts because Streamlab, everybody out there can be recording the same exact content and they can redistribute it as their own content on Streamlab. That's been one of the reasons why so many people have left Streamlab. I first started off with Streamlab and I liked it. I really did. Because you could send, gifts to each other, back and forth in the comment section or to the creator. That was actually kind of cool. I like that idea. You don't dig StreamYard? It's way too expensive? Yeah. Are we on StreamYard right now? Yes, Rycart, we are. StreamYard, the logo's right there. This is the StreamYard free service. I used to pay for the premium service and per year, but after the first year of having it, I was like, I'm not doing that again. Just wasn't getting the benefit of it. But now that StreamYard has merged with 2 other companies together, it's actually worth it. If anybody else out there is you do a lot of streaming, or if you record and you want to upload to a different platform after you've done the stream, or just get a completely digital audio version of the stream, you can do that with not with the free service, but you have to pay for either the middle or the higher tier to the pro with StreamYard. And you can do so much more with it that now that they've merged these three companies together. Empty We'll be right back. Are we in? Yeah, we are on StreamYard. Yeah. Oh, I see now. Well, thanks. I mean, I like StreamYard, Streamlab. I do for the most part. It's just that they don't encode their stream. So where I'm the only person with the coding for it. Where Streamlabs, anybody can log on as long as you have an account. You can be streaming. Well, you can take that content for yourself. It's not, you can't put it on YouTube, and monetize it, but you can certainly put it on Facebook or post a link to it on it and put it on another server, and then put a link on Twitter and everything else and drive traffic to it. Where this is my stream, this is my content. Didn't know I had to pay to stream. Well, on YouTube, you can stream just on YouTube. All right, so if you're on YouTube, and you're a creator, you can click on Go Live. It's absolutely free, 100% free. I mean, YouTube's going to take they're going to make their money by taking 30% of super chats, and super stickers. They take 30%. Right off the top. The moment that it's given, they take their 30%. The creator gets paid, every 30 days. But you can stream on YouTube absolutely free. There's no cost to do it on YouTube. This is where we're streaming right now is StreamYard, which is a separate company that has an agreement with YouTube to as a third-party provider, so to do streaming. And what makes StreamYard and Streamlabs and other platforms like this so popular and why they cost money is, let's just take for instance what I'm doing right here. I can stream to not only my YouTube channel 411 Now, I can stream this live stream to all of my channels. So maybe I have 5 channels. I actually have 7, but I can stream to all those channels. I can stream to Facebook. I can stream to Twitter. I can stream to Instagram. I can stream to all these different platforms, all live at the same time through using StreamYard. But when you stream just using YouTube, you're streaming just to one channel that you're actually logged in on, and you're streaming directly to that one and one only. Oh, I was like, I don't know if you guys can hear that. The compressor just kicked on outside. I was like, what the hell's that noise? I'm like, oh, I hear it. It's the compressor. My wife must be in the other garage, or somebody is. I got my second COVID shot Wednesday, and 3 hours later, I had aching muscles and felt like poop. My mom, who was 72, had no side effects at all. I'm thankful I was able to get it though. No regrets. I go in Monday to get my second one on Monday. There's a lot of people they're not showing up for their second appointments, and the 2-week window is lapsed for and so they're trying to call and contact everybody and encouraging people. Look, there's 2 shots you have to get. You have to get 2 of them, 2 weeks, 2 weeks apart. A lot of people are not even showing up. They're getting like the 1 shot, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm good." At least here locally where I am. I'm pretty sure that's the same across the United States. Oh, you're welcome, Starfire. Dr. Bennett, my 89-year-old mom didn't have any reaction to the shot either. When I got my first one, the only thing it hurt was the muscle in my arm ached so bad for, I don't know, about 4 or 5 hours afterwards. It felt like, like somebody, like when you're in school, you give somebody a knuckle sandwich and you punch them right in the shoulder. Well, boys do stupid things like this to each other, but it felt like that. It was just like this stiffness. And, so whenever I raised my arm like this, it hurt. But that was about the only side effect I had from it. My wife and my daughter, when they got their COVID shots, they both felt a little, like not like a cold, but they, kind of like the funk. It's like they just didn't have a lot of energy after that. Not the first one, but the second one. So, I mean, but would you rather have? Would you rather feel like it's like kind of like you just don't have a lot of energy, like having a funk, or would you rather get COVID and die? Because it is a possibility that you could die, or you could pass it on to somebody else who could die. Yep, same here. Only 39%. Wow, that's not good at all. People are thinking 70% of the coverage is better than nothing. They're not going back to get the 30%. That's only 39%. We have two massive vaccination centers that are set up here. All the colleges are requiring that every student and every teacher is fully vaccinated before they'll allow in school study, or to even be on campus. So that's all the major universities here: UW, Washington State University, Ellensburg, Eastern Washington University. They're all of them. They're all requiring it. Some of the smaller, like community colleges, are not, but we'll see what happens there. What's concerning is that they not even FDA approved. What's not FDA approved? The FDA approved some of the COVID shots. You talking about those? Well, they're approved. They just didn't go through what would normally be. And all right, I'll explain this to a lot of people who are out there, and I'll preface this right off the bat. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, and I don't play one on YouTube either. So this is my limited, tiny brain trying to explain to you how we went from taking a COVID shot, or not having one, to having one and getting it out to the public and getting massive millions of people vaccinated in such a short time frame. When normally, if you need a new diabetic drug, it takes years before you can get that drug out to actual people to help save lives. So this is basically what they did. COVID-19, for all those conspiracy theorists out there, first off, COVID is not anything that is real, okay? What you need to focus on is the COVID-19 part. All right, that part. Focus on the 19 part, because there has been COVID for years. You pick up a thing of Lysol that was made in the 1990s, and it will say that it is effective against COVID on the actual label itself. That doesn't mean anything, ladies and gentlemen, because there have been different strains of COVID for years and years and years and years and years and years. Okay? But the 19 part, the uniqueness of the COVID-19 strain itself and how deadly that is what you need to focus on. So what they did was they already had a base drug that they had been working on for the COVID shots and for the COVID vaccine. And it was here. It's kind of like taking the flu shot. We've had the flu shot for years. All right, and it's been effective for years. But at that starting point, here's where the flu shot is, and here's where the COVID shot is, right? And the vaccine, they start here, and they were looking, and they're all the flu shot, the flu strain and the COVID strain, they're constantly mutating. And even now that we have the COVID-19, and that took over the world and it's killed millions, is it mutates. So they're constantly working forward, on a vaccine for the COVID, next strain, mutation, along with the flu shot along the way. And as they were doing that, what they were doing at the same time was what normally takes a drug this long to, from start to finish to get out into the general population from here on out, is they were working this way and this way at the same time. So all these FDA, requirements, and paperwork and all these test studies and everything else, that all these these hurdles that they have to jump over once they get the actual drug done and out to the public, they were working both directions on that drug to shorten the time frame, to speed it up, to get it out to the public at this, so we could actually get ahead of this. That is basically what made the COVID vaccine go from here to here, and not have all those, trials and everything else to get out there to the general population. Now, obviously, I'm probably missing a couple of steps in there. Again, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, and nor do I play a doctor on YouTube. But in my tiny little brain, I can figure out, just by looking at the actual information, how they went from here to here so quickly, and when all their drugs take forever to get from here to there. This isn't an immunity shot like we got for MMR, mumps, rubella. No, MRSA shot, isn't it? MRSA? No, MRSA's different. MMR, mumps, rubella. Hi, Crying Shame. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. MMR. I know that. I know that MMR. My wife and my mother-in-law, my daughter, when they're all talking, they always talk about, in abbreviations and stuff like that. But I know mumps, measles, mumps, rubella. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. See, I knew that one. I knew the mumps and the rubella part, but you are absolutely right. And the part that is scary within the medical community is, yeah, we're getting these shots. We know the COVID that virus is going to actually mutate again, but that's not the scary part at all. Being just alive is scary, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of viruses that are on the earth right now that could wipe out the entire population of every human being on earth, like that. If it was ever to make the zoological leap from animals to human beings, if it was ever to make that leap to human beings, it would wipe us all out in a heartbeat. And we know it. And they know, I think they call it zoonotical viruses. But if you want to really scare yourself and you want to find out just how scary this world is, go down that rabbit hole. Zoonotical viruses. There are viruses that they found in like the Amazon rainforest. It gets into a small village. Within 24 hours, the entire village is dead because it was able to make that one leap from a mouse to a person, and that one person got it, and everybody else got it, and they're all dead, like nothing. Tomorrow, gone. Everyone in the village gone. There is nothing that they can do to stop it, and that they know of at this point. So they have to keep on researching these things. It's scary, but I mean, our lives are fragile. We only get a short amount of time to be here. I'd rather enjoy what little time I have here. I'm blowing up my phone. Oh. You almost lost everything to COVID. Anyone saying COVID-19 is fake, tell them to watch YouTube and see the mass graves that they're being forced to dig. Just tell them to turn on the evening news and watch what's going on in India. Yeah, India and Pakistan right now. Watch the COVID deaths there. Or just tell them to tune into my channel. Because I had COVID. I survived it. And I only had a mild case. And it damn near killed me. Because every day I pick these up and I decide that, you know what? I don't like my lungs. When you can't breathe anymore, you have no idea just how, what's the words I'm putting? Scary as F it is when you can't breathe. You can't bring in oxygen and you're starving for oxygen. Not a good thing at all. Why did they bury Contagion? Why not cremate? Well, in India, they're cremating a lot. They don't have the space. And when it comes to the virus, COVID-19, it only has a certain lifespan away from it needs a living organism for order to stay alive. It can be on contact on surfaces, like fecal matter or blood or other bodily fluids. It can be transmitted that way on a surface, but it only lives for so long on that surface. That's why, if you went to during the height of the outbreak, you could not find Clorox wipes anywhere. You couldn't find Clorox sprays. You couldn't find bleach. So after people started hoarding, right around the same time they were hoarding toilet paper in massive loads, they were buying that up, and anything that had kind of antibacterial element to it at all. People were buying it up because they were scared. The Spanish flu, well, and you'd be surprised just how close the Spanish flu is to the flu that we have every year. There isn't much of a difference between the two. It's just the mutation of the actual flu virus itself. My favorite thing is those who, the conspiracy people out there who say that there haven't been any flu deaths this year. I don't know. They have a thing in our local paper that runs the COVID deaths, and then they have the flu deaths, car accidents, and deaths per year. It's like an ongoing tally of how people die in our state. But more people die from obesity and obesity-related illnesses than anything else. Oh, good morning, Robin. I'm not sure if I said good morning to you. I hope I did. Ignorance is bliss. I'd rather know about what could happen. What are they going to with the freezer trucks with the bodies in New York? Well, they're going to have to cremate them. I mean, they could bury them. See, the difference is, is how people look at death in general, here in America, and the story that we're sold on by the funeral industry when it comes to death. I've thought about covering that on my channel because I actually have a family member that is a licensed mortician. But let's just say that when it comes to embalming the human body here in America, embalming was not popular here in America until the Civil War. And the only reason why embalming became popular then was so they could preserve the bodies in order to be shipped back home. And then when Lincoln was assassinated, they embalmed his body and then put him on a train and drove him, his body around to show people that he was really dead. But that's when embalming in America became popular. Why do we bury bodies 6 feet below ground and not put them, everybody in above ground? It's because it made it easier for cemeteries to actually be able to manicure their lawns. The same reason why a lot of new cemeteries don't have above ground headstones. When they don't allow them, they only allow surface, level headstones, because it's easier to manicure. Cremation is cheaper, but there isn't, when it comes to cremation, there isn't a lot of, that's left of the body after cremation. Do you think funeral homes make too much money from people's tragedies? Okie dokie. Yes and no. It depends. The markup on a basic casket is, I think, my nephew said that it's right around 2 times or 3 times the actual cost. That's the markup on the actual casket. Of course, just like buying a used car, they are playing upon your actual grief to try to upsell you on different packages and different luxuries for a coffin. And cremation is easier, but people would rather visit a grave than a wall itself. But do I think that they're soaking them? And it costs, and there's a lot of work that goes involved into preserving a body for an open casket funeral services. And people want to grieve. They want some sense of closure. They want to be able to put that together. So do a segment on that. Embalming is gross. Seeing people embalmed looks like them. They look puffy, wax figured. They actually have empty. There, I was talking to him about that. Actually, there is an entire line of cosmetics that is just made for the mortician trade, and it takes some serious work. And you don't want to. If no one has ever seen anybody embalmed, you don't want to. And how they drain the body of blood and then replace it with embalming fluids. I think there is 5 or 6 different colors of embalming fluid, and they try to mix them to kind of match your normal skin tone. So they're pumping out red, blood out of you. But they have to mix it because not everybody is white. Some people are have a little more darker skin tone to them than and some people have lighter skin tone to them. So they have clear, and then they have blues and greens and yellows. It's a real art form. Otherwise, grandma or grandpa would look like a space alien after embalming, because if they filled them full of nothing but blue or green. What's up, hon?
Hey, man. Oh, are you live streaming?
Yep, every Saturday morning, 168 Saturdays in a row. What's up?
Yeah, it's always new to me.
I know. It's like, what do you do for a living? I don't know.
What do you do for a living?
I don't do anything.
Do you get paid for this?
Sometimes.
Oh, all right. Your son dressed me this morning. See what he picked out for me?
Oh, he picked out my shirt.
Yeah, that you wore yesterday. I tried to tell him it was dirty. He didn't care. He made me wear it. So, yeah, there we go. I'm wearing this today. I got to head out to one of the hospitals. So I got some work I got to do there. Take me about maybe an hour, and I'll be out. I'll be back.
Well, what if I have to leave?
Well, that is going to be a damn shame, because I'm going to be at the hospital. No, Elizabeth's watching the tiny.
Say hello. Don't hide behind the chair. You're not a troll.
Hey, Will's chat.
Gayla says hello. Hi, Crystal. can barely reach the tripod from here. Turn the leg there.
What? Even with your like monstrously abnormally long arms?
Well, I got some reach. You know what they say about a man with long reach?
His wife, who has tiny raptor arms, makes him get stuff off the shelf for her.
Yep.
That's all right.
So you're gonna be back in about an hour?
Yeah, I'll be back in about an
Okay.
hour.
Did you feed him?
French toasty sticks.
So you did, yes.
Good job.
All right.
He gave me the thumbs up when
Glowworm says hello. Stardust says hello. Real Duct Tape Bandit says hello there. Connie says hello. Stardust says hi, Krista.
Hi guys. Bye guys.
Hello. Bye.
Sorry for interrupting your chat.
I have an urn in my living room display case dealing with questions like what do I do with her ashes? I'm raising her 4 children. Okie dokie. I don't know. I'll tell you what we did with when my sister passed away. We had a small portion of her ashes that were turned into and encapsulated in necklaces, pendants for each of the remaining sisters. And then my sister's oldest daughter, so my niece, she took half of the ashes and spread them in a private memorial service near where my sister loved to go walk near a river. She had to get a city permit in order to do that. And then the rest of my sister's ashes were then spread in the same location later on. But that's what we did with them. Dust in the wind. You can do that. Yeah. Yeah. When a body is cremated, though, there are actually really small remains that are left. Some of the items have to actually be ground down manually, put into a grinder and ground down. They have these really big industrial like grinders, grind down the remains. So there's not like chunks of teeth or anything in there, and some bones like pieces of hip bone are really hard to cremate as well. But otherwise, people are cremated in either a cardboard box or a pine wood box, is depending upon the amount of remains that are going to be left over. So your loved one who is in an urn, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, is their remains and it's not an entire remains of an individual. It's the remains of that entire thing, the vessel that they were in, because otherwise you'd only end up with just this tiny little bit of remains. You can make rings and stuff out of ashes. My friend's daughter was murdered, and her brother made a ring out of some of their ashes. Yeah, they actually the place that did the pendants for my sister's ashes, for my other sisters, they make a gemstone where they superheat the ashes along with they mix in glass like crystals into it. So it superheats it and it turns it into, and they shape it into like a gem that you can put into jewelry, a necklace, or a ring. There's lots of things you can do with it after that point, and you can go all the way to extremes, and be shot into outer space. Kevin says that he gets cremated. He wants them to put him in a skull. Kevin wants to have his ashes put into a skull. Okay, Kevin. And good morning, Kevin. Oh, that's cool, Caroline. I had an uncle who was in Pearl Harbor. He survived Pearl Harbor, but he ended up dying in some tiny island that was insignificant, but he ended up dying during the war, and he's actually buried in the underwater cemetery there at I think it's actually right outside of the memorial for Pearl Harbor, the Pearl Harbor Memorial. They have they made these huge concrete like reef pieces, and then there's a vessel where they actually send a diver down. They actually put the remains in a container, and then they put them inside of the actual reef. A ceramic skull. Oh, that's cool. A little creepy, Kevin, but okay. To each their own, I guess. There's natural ceremonies as well, which apparently are gaining a lot more of a following, I guess, or a lot more people are looking towards that as an alternative to being cremated or being buried in a cemetery. They call them a green funeral. What they do is they bury you, and then like a peach tree or something like that, they plant you, they put you in the ground, and then they plant a tree in a park over the top of you. My husband wants to be mixed into bird food and shaped into one of those bird food things. Okay. You'd be happy to put them in a picture frame. They have those picture frames. Myself personally, I already have a spot in our family mausoleum, or I could be buried. The other option is we have an extra grave site that's just outside of the mausoleum. But either way, the cost though to be transported back to Minnesota, Wisconsin, for a funeral services would be expensive as hell, and a lot of burden on my wife. And we've actually looked into final expenses and everything else, and it's not cheap. You want burials at sea, Gala? It costs less to have a loved one returned to the form of a lab-grown diamond than the cost of a traditional burial. Well, I didn't know that, Robin. It's nice to know. Earth feeds me so well, I might as well repay the favor. Caroline Matt, I don't want a coffin. I just want to go back to the earth. One of my clients had one. His wife died. My daughter works in end of life care with hospice. It's interesting, hearing what some of the clients want to have done after their burial. One guy wants to be buried in his backyard. The guy's a hoot. I talk to him every once in a while when I bring things over to the house where she takes care of him. You don't even go underwater in your swimming pool, but your husband wants to be buried at sea. Okay. No. After we're gone, does it really matter what we do? What happens if we're buried in a traditional coffin in a cemetery, cremated, or I mean, I guess you could look at it this way: if you're cremated, you're not going to come back as a zombie, right? In case a zombie apocalypse ever happens, if you're buried, you're cremated, you won't be coming back as a zombie. So there's that. You work with hospice when I was doing home health. Met some wonderful people. My daughter, she likes to work, but doesn't like to work at the same time. It's She wants to help people. She likes being in that field, and she has a lot of compassion, for her clients, and she likes helping. But at the same time, she knows that these each and every one of her clients only has a very really small finite amount of time left, and trying to make them comfortable, and there's only so much she can do, herself. But she likes to work. Has anyone ever heard of Jessica Chambers' case? Um, Name sounds familiar to me. Duct tape. I won't even go on to talk about Casey Anthony. Besides, she's just oh, I can't stand her. She did it. Casey Anthony. She's a private detective now. She wants to help you solve your crimes. It used to happen a lot. People were buried alive by mistake. So they used to put a string attached to a bell on the outside of your coffin, and then you could ring it in case you were buried alive by mistake. You could ring the bell. Same here, Connie. Same here. Sometimes you really wonder if justice can ever be served. And when it comes to James Hutchinson, I've been sitting here researching the case for a while now, and looking at the state history in Ohio when it comes to capital punishment, and to prosecuting the mother and James Hamilton, her fiance, for what they did to James. I mean, first off, it's going to take a while before, if they are ever able to actually recover James's body from the Ohio River. But where will they? What will they do? Will they offer her a plea agreement just to get the case over with and move on, where she only has to do 20 years and has to do 15 before she's eligible for parole? Because she has to do two in the state of Ohio. If you get sentenced to 100 years, you have to do 2/3 of the sentence before you're first eligible for parole. Wow. As ghoulish as Ed Gein in my book. Jessica Chambers and her vehicle were both found on fire, and she was actually walking and trying to talk. Wow. I'm going to write it down. Jessica Chambers. It sounds familiar. I mean, the name does. I'm going to look into it. And I don't think Andrea Yates is an evil human being too. She knew what she was doing. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that, everyone. James Hutchinson's mother, Brittany Gosney, has admitted not only to the police, but to the state psychiatrist there at the state mental hospital in Ohio, where she, lives. The case is taking place in Middletown, Ohio. But she admitted that on more than one occasion, she hogtied all three of the children and gagged them and left them on the linoleum floor in the dining room for hours while her and her fiance did whatever they needed to do. She hogtied a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old and left them laying on the floor or sitting back to back on the linoleum floor. No water, no food, no care, no compassion, nothing at all for her 3 children. While she just lived her life, did whatever she wanted on more than one occasion. Sad. How can you wake up the next day or even, well, how do you, I don't know how you get to the point where you'd actually do that in the first place, but how do you live with yourself even doing that once, let alone doing it more than once? Brittany Murphy case. I read the autopsy report last night. I know someone that is in trouble for torturing their kids right now. Billy Messney. Huh. Brittany Murphy. I haven't read the autopsy report or too familiar with the case. Duct tape bandit. Carolyn Maskell, are you talking about Brittany Gosney? The state won't, excuse me, the state of Ohio Child Protective Services will not confirm if they've ever been contacted about the treatment of the children. But according to 2 people who spoke off the record and the condition of anonymity from the Rosa Parks Elementary School where James Hutchinson went to school, that they had made reports about him showing up to school, dirty, disheveled, and malnourished, or had been underfed. Who's Anthony Sowell? I've heard or seen the name, but glowworm. I'm 100% support of the death penalty, especially for people that kill children. Anthony Sowell, and the name sounds familiar, but was he a serial killer or a killer who died in prison? Alma, hi Alma, welcome to the stream, Alma. Serial killer from Cleveland killed 11 women, arrested in Halloween 2009. So that is Anthony Sowell, who died in prison. I did a video about him that he died. He was on death row. Yeah. I'm doing great, Alma. I hope you're doing good. Billy Messney and his wife, who was pregnant, shaved their daughter's head, made her sleep on concrete floor with no blanket, hogtied her on numerous occasions. I think it's because she looks like her mom. Wow. Excuse me. Be surprised, some of the things that people will do to each other and what they'll do to those who are vulnerable parts of our population. When is Letitia's next court date? I don't know. She's a whacking nut. She is really out there. Did you hear about the serial killer in Northern California, the tree trimmer murders? Yeah, or I have heard of it. I haven't. It's one of the cases that I have written down that I started to research up, but I haven't gotten too far into it yet. Yes, Alma, fairly new. They are up on federal charges because the crime happened in Indian territory land. I would have never imagined him doing that either. He was a successful kid. Wow. Had a whole court at the post office. Yeah. Maya Millette case, Alma. I think, Larry did it. I think he, especially with the audio recording, what it sounds like gunshots to me. I think he did it. I think he killed her, and what did he do with her body? I don't know. Tragic though. I shared the during the investigation before anything else was found out. I shared the missing poster with the FLAM, Filipino American Society, and they shared with their members, and there's a huge Filipino American Society, especially in that area. I mean, there's huge pockets, especially on the west coast of the United States, in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, a huge population of Filipino Americans. Passing the baton to you is a tad too uplifting for a Saturday morning. I'm sorry, Robin. Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Cornell Chamberlain was murdered by her mom, best boyfriend, and it was one of on the reservation. $4.8 million views. Yo, what's up, guys? My friend's birthday. Give a shout out to Nick Gurr. Is it pronounced Gurr? Well, happy birthday, Nick. 4.8 million views. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a wonderful week leading up to today. Well, Robin, I'm about to wrap the stream up anyways. But I really do appreciate you being here this morning. And I'm sorry that the conversation topic kind of turned, towards the more depressing than it normally is. I'm not sure where they will hold his trial. The arrest was made over a year ago. They should already have been sentenced and sent off to death, if you ask me. You have a wonderful weekend too, Connie. Deneen, you have a great day as well and a wonderful weekend. Everyone, I'm going to wrap this stream up there. I will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We are doing true crime trivia tomorrow night. Tomorrow is general trivia, crime trivia again. There's a little bit of pop culture, crime related in there. Some about serial killers, and others are just basic crime knowledge questions. They're all multiple choice. Every question has 4 possible answers. Technically, there's only 3 real possible answers, but to make it more interesting, I throw in a 4th, option. You can easily pick it out. It's like, who did this crime, and then I'll put like Dick Cheney in there or something as an option. But so there's only 3 real options. But either way, we play Sunday night at 7 p.m. again. Like I said, there are 30 questions total on the trivia, and I hope that everybody can join in on the fun. Have a good day, homie. Thank you for stopping in. 4.8 million views. And everyone, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you can't make the live stream tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Everyone stay safe out there.